Feedback is my friend. Good morning, everybody. What is going on? We are stylists from the break room. Good morning, John, my friend. We just came off a 7-hour class day yesterday. How are you feeling? Because I sound
Uh,
exactly how I feel.
yeah, we're both a little strung out from it, but what a great flipping day! What a great day! Um, we got to start out before we even get into anything. Is there's a couple of people that we owe big thank yous to, and that's Carmelina and Dominic. They helped us out on Sunday. They helped out Sunday, and then they helped us out all day yesterday. And without them, it would not have been able to happen. They're awesome. If you both are watching, thanks, guys. If you guys come to our next class, which will be on June 16th, Carmen Dom will be there, and you can meet them and just know that everything that goes on, they support the both of us, and it's awesome.
That's why the
It's just
class is
fantastic.
successful and runs smooth is because they're there.
Yeah, yeah.
Because they're there.
It does. It does. Or else, between you, me, and Darren and our ADD, we'd all just be spinning in the lobby. But what a great day. What a great day yesterday was. We got to spend the day with 85 super talented people from all walks of our industry. There's the word I was looking for.
What did we have? 4 or 5 generations of hairdressers in there.
4 generations that we touched on, because we asked everybody. We went 5 years and under, and we had some hands that raised. Then we did 10 years and under, we had some hands that raised, and then we did 20 years and under, and a few more hands raised, and then 30 years and over. We had a whole bunch of people put their hands up besides me and you. It was really cool. And it was great that we shared knowledge and we were exchanging ideas and stuff. It was such a cool day. I can't believe that I turned around and it was already 2:30 in the afternoon.
The day we said this in March, and it happened again yesterday. The day flies by.
Flies by. Yeah, and we just had a really, really good time. It was. Thank goodness that the organization that we've put together, it just flowed for everybody. It really did. And we had some old friends there, because it's situational, if you will. And we made some new friends. Eddie's just to let you guys in on that inside joke. One of Eddie's favorite comments is, well, it's situational. And as we all know, with hair, everything is situational. And so one of our longtime accounts, and she's a friend, she brought Eddie a T-shirt that said situational on it. It was great.
And T-shirt printed up.
Yeah, for Eddie. Eddie now has a T-shirt that says situational. What a great, really, I just keep saying it because I'm blown away. Every time that we do one of these, it really gets me more juice to get back to the shop, get behind the chair. It's awesome. The products were fantastic, and we taught some people some things that they didn't know. Some people told us some stuff that we didn't know. It was great. And that just goes to right back to what we were talking about early on with them is just when you think you've seen it all in our industry, something comes up and just punches you right in the end of the nose, and you go, what is that? It's really cool. What a great day. Awesome day.
Oh my gosh. So much fun. So much fun.
And
we'll review it for everybody just to get a preview, because one of the comments, we got these comments in March and we got them again this time yesterday. We have more content than we have time. And it's usually backwards. It's usually the program drags on because there's only a few topics and you just got to make it work for 7 hours, We actually do it the opposite. We actually produce more content than we have time. So if we start running it through, we started today with the Xenogen serum, for example.
Right.
And the Xenogen Scalp Serum is designed to maintain the healthiness of the scalp. And it's to spot treat sparse areas, shedding, excessive shedding, balding, irritations, things like that. What was some of the feedback people were giving that you can recall about the serum during that entire segment, actually, when we were talking about scalp stuff?
The cool part was because we passed around the sample bottle of it for them to, because what does everybody want to do? They want to smell everything, which was, and then people were kind of putting it on their hand and rubbing it in. And first off, the first thing first was how light it was in comparison to a lot of other scalp therapy oils and things like that. And that was the first thing they said was how light it was, and that because it doesn't have a vascular dilator in it, they weren't getting like that red mark that a lot of them. Remember that? Remember the old?
When you use the big words, man.
Well, that's what it is. Anyway, but they were just blown away by how light it was and just the ease of application that they would have, especially with that dropper where you can really pinpoint areas that need. Yeah. So that was cool. My biggest
takeaway was that the difference between the serum and an oil. Mm-hmm. Everybody kept saying oil, and no, this is serum. It's different, and it was really blowing people's mind because too many terms become synonymous with each other, and they really shouldn't be like.
Right. And then the stylus kit of Xenogen.
Of the Xenogen, the Volulite collection. You got you acting like how I feel right now. The volume loose foam, the Repairical leave-in spray, the densifying thickening cream, the texturizing powder. That texturizing powder was so fun, being able to show the lightweightness versus something heavy. Right.
That was so cool. And then if we just want to run down the line real quick, and then All Nutrient, we showed them 9V, the new toner.
I think that was a lot of fun. Sending the mannequin around with the control mannequin with the 9V result.
Right.
I think people were really, really fascinated with how the amount of questions I was getting for platinum blonde toning is still a challenge for a lot of people. What has it been, like 3 years now that platinum blonde has been so trending so much, and it's still challenging?
First off, I don't think platinum blonde is ever going to go out of style, because you can go all the way back to Jane Mansfield, Marilyn Monroe. I think platinum blonde is like the elusive unicorn for a lot of people.
It peaked in popularity a couple years back, and it's just there's been a billion formulas out there.
It ebbs and flows. With 9V, you have it all set up for you in one bottle. But once again, I mean, not to get into a color class or anything like that, but you've got to lighten the hair to the level. If you want that platinum, but 9V will also help you correct any little, faux pas you may have had in your foils or it's cool. It's a great product. And then there was the lightning. We talked about.
You were talking about the lightning, man. How fun is how fun? LC is one of my favorite things to show off. How fun is that when you show that to them, then you let the bowl sit for a couple hours and then you come back and show it to them again?
Look, 3 hours later, people were still checking on that bowl that was sitting on the table behind us. And they're like, come on. And we're like, what do you think we're
you've been keeping your eye on it the entire time. We didn't switch it with anything else.
It sat right here on so that was cool. Also, guys, for those of you that are not familiar with lightener control will keep your, for lack of a better term, keep your lightener moist and active a whole lot longer, and your lightener will not turn into that brain in a bowl. It keeps it from really puffing up. It's great for foiling. It's great for balayaging. You add it to your lightener. It's fantastic. The oil. And then unbeknownst to us,
Oh yeah.
even unbeknownst to both of us, because I just, you sent me to mix the lightener, and it just coming as what I do every free flipping day, I added the oil to it, and the all nutrient oil. My brain, guys, I apologize.
I need some popcorn. I'm having fun watching you.
Yeah, I know. I'm twitching today. There's a lot of energy yesterday. But with that, and then all of a sudden you're like, wait, you put oil in here? I go, yeah, I put oil in all my lightener. And you go, oh yeah. And then all of a sudden all the questions we get about the oil. So it was cool.
I know. It was so funny.
It was great. But lightener, I mean, look, that's one of our basic services that we do is lightening the hair in some form. Besides covering gray, we lighten hair, and anybody and everybody wants another step, another trick, or just how to do it differently to hopefully just improve your result. And I dig that. And it was great because I got some ideas from a couple of the stylists there.
Yeah. I love the feedback on the blue base developers as well too. I tell you, man, the color questions that we were getting were very clever questions. They were very intelligent questions.
I don't think there was a dumb question all day, other than you asking me to do something, which was a dumb question. But bottom line is though, and then right from there, then I mean, we come back. We did lunch after that, and then we come back.
Before that, though, you forgot something. I have a question for you.
Okay.
Because the same thing happened in March, and the same thing happened this time too. On the low density haircut, you explained this to me back in March. I completely forgot. I did it again just because that's just how I cut hair. Explain to me why it freaks everybody out so much, because I did it again. I didn't think about it. During the break, I got half a dozen questions, and I had like another crowd around me having to re-explain why I cut hair. Like why I cut.
Yeah. So guys, the way Eddie was trained to cut hair, Eddie will bring the section up, and then he cuts where most of us cut on the top here. Eddie will actually cut underneath his fingers, and people's heads explode when they see him do that.
I don't know why.
And that's the way Eddie was trained. Eddie was trained that way. But with the low density haircut, it's always a hit. That's always a great haircut to show. And then people go, oh, well, but I do that, but I do it this way. And we're like, yeah, that's exactly. I mean, really, if you think about it,
cut over my fingers too, sometimes I don't just always cut under.
Right, but
for the low density cut in particular, like you want extra movement, you want additional notching, you don't want perfect design lines, I cut over my finger and I cut my hand off. Oh, there's red. You got some red dye on the tray over here somewhere. You're looking at me going, what?
And he dinged himself yesterday, and he's like, oh, I got red color. There's red color somewhere. Now, we haven't done red color in a long time. So he's talking, and I'm looking at the tray going, where the hell is red color? And then he comes back to me, and he goes, oh, I cut myself.
He didn't even feel it.
So what does Eddie do? Eddie takes the water bottle. He sprays the cut with the water bottle. Okay, we get him a Band-Aid, and he puts the Band-Aid on wet skin. So the Band-Aid, 20 minutes. The Band-Aid lasted 20 minutes. Eddie comes over to me. We're presenting at the time. Eddie comes over to me and goes, give me some hairspray. Okay, so we took the all-nutrient, ultra-hold hairspray, and I sprayed the cut with it, and it stopped bleeding. It cauterized the whatever that is, and of course the infection that's going to come later.
There's no infection; it sanitizes. That's a MacGyver move. That's a pro MacGyver move.
It's a pro move.
MacGyver move. Okay, and it's funny because anybody in the business 20, 25 years or over, all were nodding their head, going, "Yup." And everybody 20 years and younger in the industry was like, Is that like liquid, liquid skin, liquid, what's it
Yeah.
called? Like super glue stuff?
No,
See,
I have
hairspray, baby. Like, I know how this works.
in my station, I have a little tube of super glue because if I ding myself, I just super glue it and call it a day.
Super glue, your fancy stuff, and then your medical science and advancements. Hairspray takes the stain out of your clothes.
Yes,
It
it
takes
does.
the blood off your hands. Okay, it shellacks the hair into place. You,
You can use it. You can use it with a lighter to start your barbecue. Yeah.
Look, I've seen arachnophobia. It gets rid of spiders. Okay, like it works.
That's awesome.
So that was,
Okay.
and that was all before lunch. This was
Yeah.
all before noon. Okay. And it makes me feel like that old army commercial. It's like, I fueled the chopper, I washed the tank, I ran 20 miles, I've done my PT, I did this, I did that. It's 8 o'clock in the morning. What have you done today so far?
Right. Right. Right.
It's freaking awesome.
Yeah. And then, we did a lunch, and we did a Q&A session during lunch where you come up, you could ask me and Eddie anything. And that always goes over big. Because we are hairdressers, so we stand there and eat lunch and talk to people, just like we do in the back room, just like we're doing right now.
Oh, it was fun, man. It was fun.
Yeah,
I had a cookie, I traded for an apple. Somebody wanted my orange.
yeah. So with
Great.
that being said, I mean, and then we did she hair extensions.
Oh, you did the butterfly cut first.
Oh, that's right, the butterfly cut.
You
We
were
did the
getting
butterfly.
questions on the butterfly cut.
Well, the butterfly cut is basically it's increased layering, but it's just a different way of doing it, and you're cutting perpendicular to the floor. And it's always a good cut, and then you got to go in and detail it and clean it up. And it's a mannequin. Ugh, cutting that haircut on a mannequin, we got to come up with a different haircut. But that was great. And then we went into the hair extensions. The we talked about the K tips. We showed the zero. You showed the zero trace method. Then we did on stage extensions, which are the O beads. And we got a lot of great questions about that. About the versatility of it too. We did kerotherapy, and then we went right into kerotherapy, which was fantastic. Kerotherapy is always a go-to. The one thing that you and I were just talking about earlier before we came on was kerotherapy has the square brushes, but they have these bands on them that when you make your brush reach the right temperature before you put it in the hair, the heat makes the band go away, and everybody's mind just went, which was completely just we were doing a sidebar on that, and then all of a sudden everybody's like, where do I get these brushes? And they're the kerotherapy square brushes.
That was hilarious.
And then here's this shameless plug. You can get those on htbbeauty.com. Shameless plug. Hey, we were doing shameless plugs all day yesterday. Okay.
I love that part of the class too. Like in the beginning of the class, we just preface it everything of the day of, look, we do the education. We don't do sales. All right. You're going to ask us questions. I just want to let everybody know we spend months practicing to get this class perfect to do the presentation. And it all goes hell in a handbasket in 2 seconds when somebody asks us for a freaking ordering a deal. Like, why is it hairdressers complain about, oh, these educational classes are not educational anymore. They're always sales pitches. And then we're over here going, okay, we can fix that. Let's put an educational class together. And then bloody hell, where can I buy this? Like, dude, I'm trying to teach you something right now. I don't know where you could buy. Like, what do you want to buy this?
It's and
you're killing
yeah,
me.
that what great, and then really the one thing that I didn't think was going to catch people's attention, but it did, were the kerotherapy fiber sprays.
That was fun. That was fun.
And actually, we had someone who's a friend of HTB Beauty was there, and she actually came in with Roots, knowing that we were going to be featuring the fiber sprays. and she's like, "Hey, you guys could use me as a model." And then we had
Yeah,
a little.
she volunteered herself and injected herself into the presentation. Like that.
Oh,
That was. And here's us. Sure, come on down. Let's do it. The hell with it.
yeah, yeah. And then that one stylist showed us the trick that neither one of us knew, where you lay the tail comb in the part and then spray so it doesn't. So you actually have a nice clean part. Was super cool.
I want to give her
I would have
credit.
never even thought about that.
Yeah, I want to give her credit because I flat out told her, I said, I don't really think about that because my focus is on let's solve this problem. I don't, it's not my problem what it looks like after. Okay, what happened was this. The stylist who we were showing it on has a side part. This stylist that we're mentioning, she was sitting in the front row and she's saying, hey, use your tail comb before you spray it down and then you can save her part. And I'm going, no, I don't know. Like I heard what she was saying, but I wasn't understanding what she was saying. So I'm like, you know what? I got excited because what it sounded interesting because I understood what she was saying. I just wasn't being able to process it correctly. So I'm like, come on up and show me. She's like, no, I'm not getting up. I'm like, no, for real. Come up and like, I was actually, if you're watching this, I wasn't picking on you. I was actually excited to learn something. I was inspired for the moment, and when I get excited, I forget sometimes. Like I just bring everybody in against their will. Like, come on, we're gonna do this. We're gonna learn something.
Right.
It was cool as hell. So props to her. She got up. She lays the tail comb down right over the part. We spray over it. The tail comb catches the spray. When she lifts it up, you could still see the skin of her scalp of her part. It
How awesome.
made the look so much more natural. Like it really was awesome. That was cool. That was a cool little trick.
But how cool is that we always can learn something from someone else in what we do.
Absolutely. Look, the audience, I said this back in March, we had a great audience, and I'll say it again for yesterday, man. I love the interaction. I really, really enjoy and love the interaction. And it is always inspiring to me when I see people raising their hands. And here's me. Are you stretching or you got a question? Like, no. We have a question. We got a question. I'm like, all right.
That was, what a fantastic day. And I'm excited for June because we got another one coming in June 16th.
June 16 is already, it's on this. I know it's the hours year. I know it's the renewal year. And I understand everybody wants, to get in their hours. It still blows my mind how these things sell out. And it's so funny because we say it's on its way to selling out. And then all of a sudden, within a week or two afterwards, it's already sold, And here we are. What are we, 4 weeks out?
Yeah, roughly 4 weeks out.
And we're about to be sold out on June 16 too. So HTBbeauty.com, man, sign up, get your ticket. It's fun as hell. We're having a blast. We're having so much of a blast. We just may do this again next renewal.
I'm if I know our friend Darren, I think that he's probably hatching an August class. So
that's on him. I'm not. I told him June. I'm done after June.
Yeah.
I'm done after June. I'm not doing a last minute hours thing. I'm not doing it. So this is it. June will be it for this season for this renewal. I will not be opposed to doing back in the learning studio. I'll do more classes over the summer and in late August, September in the learning studio, because that's where we have our regular classes. And those are more intimate, those are more personalized, those are more one-on-one, and those are individual topics that we really break down and go into the meat and potatoes of everything. Because with a class like yesterday, we just don't have enough time to do a full-blown, on anything. We just have enough time to glaze over half the topic because then we got to get to the next topic. There's
Right.
just too many topics to cover.
Right. Well,
Um,
that and information on those classes will be forthcoming on htbbeauty.com.
Yeah, that part's fine. We could do
Yeah.
full classes on each individual subject, then people can custom choose what they want to learn about. I won't be
Right.
opposed to that. But another 7-hour day in late August, September, it's gonna be 7,000 degrees in that room, man. No way. No way. Dude, this like it might as well have been a standing ovation when the guy came in to turn the air cooler.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
That room, man, it's like we're hot-blooded, man. It's
look, I was doing the haircut and I am pouring sweat out of nowhere. And it's literally running down my back and I'm just like, oh. But yeah, that's why we stood outside afterwards with the wind blowing and with the wind chill of 30 degrees. We're like, and now that's why we're both sick.
These hotels and convention centers just don't understand. They're like, we've already got it down to 68 or whatever it is. I'm like, this needs to be 60 in here. You just don't understand.
But what a great day. It was an awesome day. We had a great blend of stylists. It's this second class in a row where we've had a great blend of stylists, people, from that are independent all the way to salon owners. And it was a great sharing of information. And how cool is it, man? Well, that's so cool. It's really cool. So, you got a quiz. Let's do this quiz. Are you not prepared for the quiz? Are we not doing a quiz?
Prepared for your stupid ass book is what
I'm at home. No. As per your request, I'm at home and I don't have the handy dandy all nutrient color book.
Oh,
here we go.
Then if you're performing a color correction to remove the banding, throughout the hair, then what's the most important first step?
40 volume peroxide.
Answer that sucker without your handy
dandy. What are my choices?
You have none. You should just know the answer. You can apply a high lift blonde over the entire head.
Mm-hmm.
You can use a clarifying shampoo to strip out old color.
Mm-hmm.
Identify the underlying pigment, porosity, and the previous color history. Or you could just go in with a toner to try to balance out the bands.
See, that's God, I'm going to use the word. It's such a situational thing. Depending on, I'm going to go with first thing you got to do is identify the color history.
That is the first. I did. The question was, what's the most important first step?
The most important first step is
identifying. Yeah.
The client's color history first.
Yeah. What is the main reason a toner may appear darker or more intense than intended on previously lightened hair? Was there too much water in the hair? Did you use too strong of a developer? Was the hair too porous? Or was the toner too dark to begin with?
I'm going to go with it's a porosity issue.
It's always a porosity issue. And that was a fun part of the class yesterday was talking about why toners fail.
Yeah.
It really is a porosity issue. What's the best cutting technique to collapse weight in the interior of the hair while maintaining a strong perimeter? Is it point cutting, slide cutting, graduation, or underlayer texturizing?
Underlayer texturizing.
It just keeps that shape. It absolutely keeps that shape. I know you know this one. You were talking about this yesterday. What does this 0 degree elevation create in a haircut, in a hairstyle?
Well, as long as you're cutting level, it creates weight, but you could do it on an angle too and create weight because, we all have that client that goes, is the left side a little longer than the right side? And then you
Poor
just tilt their head,
Susan.
and then you just tilt their head a
Susan
little bit.
yesterday
Go,
was awesome. I have to call out. Wait, John. I have to call out one stylist in particular. Susan, thank you. Thank you for being such a great sport.
Okay. Now
Susan
you got to.
No. We can't. We don't want to go into the specifics of it. But Susan was a great sport. She was awesome.
Poor
She's
Susan.
a poor woman. Her name just happened to be Susan. Okay. And that's the only connection there was. This stylist, you were such a sweetheart. You were so cool, man. You're funny as hell. Especially every time I'd look over at her before I'd say Susan. And just a smile on her face. She knew it was coming.
Yeah. I mean, she was great. She was great, and she dealt with it pretty well. Yeah. So
I was picking on her.
So the answer to the quiz is it creates weight.
Now, how do you measure 0-degree elevation?
It's natural fall.
Is it with natural fall? Is it with a protractor? Is it with a mirror? Or is it with a heel digging into the top of your foot?
Hey, you don't. Okay, so here's another side story. We're doing side stories all day long. Okay, guys. So when I came out of beauty school, I auditioned. That's back in the day when you auditioned to be able to work at a salon. Yeah. I auditioned for a certain salon. It was a group of salons. There's the same name salon, but they're all in all the malls. And my first haircut was a layered haircut. It was great. And then they want me to cut a bob. And I brought my models in and I cut the bob. And then this director of education goes, "Oh, that's a pretty bob. Let's see how good it really is." And she comes with a mirror and she puts the mirror underneath the bob. So that's where that question came from, because I told that story on Sunday. Except I was using a few more colorful words than I can hear on the podcast. I mean, but right along those lines, back in the day when we were all coming, 30 plus years ago, when we were coming out of school, you earned your chair. It wasn't just given to you. You earned it. And that's a story for another day, because we're doing that. We have a whole series of coming up about getting into the industry and the stylist guide to getting into the industry. So we're going to leave it at that.
What's the purpose of setting a style with a cool shot after blow drying? Does it help evaporate any remaining moisture? Does it close the cuticle and lock in style shape? Does it dry the scalp, or does it help release the brush out of the section more easily?
You forgot E, to make the client feel as uncomfortable as you possibly can. No. Kidding, Joe.
Your stupid air drying crap shenanigans that you pulled yesterday.
That was awesome.
Dude, you got the audience laughing. You got all those stylists laughing so hard at my expense. Just you freaking push, you poke, you know it's gonna set me. Look, I'm already setting myself off already. Just flashback over here.
So yeah, because we were just, anybody who's watched us, we did a segment a couple episodes back where I took the because as we all know, we have all our clients coming in going, on TikTok, they told me I should just let my hair air dry, So I took that side of the argument, and Eddie took the stylist side of the argument. And sure as God makes little green apples, someone threw that out there yesterday about air drying, and I couldn't help myself. And watching Eddie, the rage build in Eddie was fantastic. And he went on a tirade about blow drying because, why would we want to close the cuticle down or seal the hair? It was flipping amazing. It was great. But as we well know, the cold shot seals the cuticle and locks in your style. And then there's that one stylist next to me. Anytime you start talking about the shot, she perk up and go, shots? I forget if you're watching, and I forgot your name, and only because I have Swiss cheese for a brain. But you were really funny, and I want to that kept things going great.
We had a great we had a great audience overall, but that front row, man, on all three sides was just freaking hilarious.
Well, and then we have the criminal duo in the back. It was awesome. It was fantastic. What a great day! It was really a great day. So we're done. We're done with the quiz, or you got more?
I got a couple more if you want them.
Let's do it.
Okay. When you're using tape and extensions, what's a reason that they may slip out prematurely? Is the client's hair too short? Is the extensions layered incorrectly? Were there oils or conditioners like too heavy? Or was it installed incorrectly?
I'm gonna go with oils and conditioners. Is my answer, Alex?
Suck it, Trebek. Tape-in extensions are sensitive to build up. Any kind of extension attachment, especially tape-ins, you really got to be mindful not to saturate or get too much stuff on the attachment area. It's going to mess things up,
Right.
It is an interesting question. For the K-tips, when we were showing the K-tips yesterday, they were, I was taking the bond and I was showing them, like, if you lift it up, if you lift it sideways, you can measure how much hair you need for the section, right?
Yeah.
So for the O-ring, when we were showing the O-ring application for the onstage, for the wefts and the strands, the beaded ones, people were also asking me, like, oh, how much hair do you need for that section? And I thought that was kind of interesting that people were asking the same question after we just showed the K-tip. What do you have any advice as to how to measure a proper section for an O-ring?
Here's my rule of thumb, and this is only from trial and error. And I am not Bernard. Okay. What I do is I visualize the size of the bead. And if you really look inside the bead, you see the diameter. So what I do is I always try to, if you have the true hook that you get with the kit, if I can fill the hook part with the hair, that's roughly the same diameter as the bead. And it makes it a lot easier to pull, when you slide the hair through the bead.
Sure.
That is my rule of thumb. But what I do also is, especially as you get into like this area, because you can't go all the way into the front hairline if you have a wet. Okay, but you know how this hair starts getting a little sparser. So instead of taking it, when I pull it, I can pull it a little deeper instead of more width. Does that make sense?
You never want to go wide. Yeah.
Yeah, instead of going wide, I go length. And you can go a little deeper. But really, rule of thumb is you want to fill that circle inside the bead, right? So that way, when you clamp it, you have a lot of points of contact with that bead and the hair. Because if you only put if you're pulling micro sections of hair out and you crimp it, you crimp the O bead onto it, with shedding and the things that people do to their hair, 2 weeks later, you're going to be getting a phone call going, yeah, the corner of this weft came out, it's hanging. I've got a bobby pinned in. Could you help? You got to make sure there's enough points of contact. So that's
the
how I.
loop, the white stick with the wire.
Yeah.
That's the loop. Okay. Take a bead, load it into the loop. Just
Right.
a single one, not one that's in the weft or in the strand, just a single one by itself.
Right.
And load a bead onto it. Use that as your guide. Try that.
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
Because after you pull a section, because everything you're explaining is absolutely correct. That comes with experience. In the beginning, when you're unsure, do exactly what you just said.
Right.
With the hook and the diameter of the bead, right? But then
Right.
actually take a loop that has a bead loaded onto it and lay it up against the section you just took. If it's the same, you got enough hair. And
So
if you pull it sideways and it's not too vertical, or too horizontal, then you got a nice even section as well too. You're not going to be pinching in corners.
So when we were doing those yesterday, I don't know if Carm told you, I was pretty amped up. So I have the bead, I pull the hair through, and I go to slide it, but I'm still holding the loop in this hand, and I'm tugging as I go to slide it. As the loop slides out, I'm holding the loop, and I'm tugging on it, and all of a sudden I just yank the white handle off the loop.
Is that what happened? I'm looking, I'm like, what is going on with this tray? Why is there? Okay. That's hilarious.
It was fun because I was trying to, I'm explaining it and I'm holding the loop, and I'm not realizing that I'm holding the loop. And Carm's looking at me, and I go, because I am a freaking silverback gorilla. And Carm goes, I've never seen that happen before. And I go, yeah, only to me. But yeah, that was pretty funny. Yeah, so you don't want to be holding the loop part. If you hold on to the weft part, but yeah, but yeah, definitely.
Okay.
And then we went right from on stage. We went right into therapy. Yeah, it was good. It was good.
So what do you got for us this week?
I don't have a motivational quote.
So your motivation is go take a nap.
Yeah, oh God.
Motivation for the week. Go take a nap.
Look, I came. Just one more thing about that. I'm sure people are sick of us talking already about the freaking day. I was so amped up when I came home because if you live in Chicago right now, all the expressways are under construction. And it took what should have taken me 35 minutes to get home yesterday, took an hour and 5. And I'm amped up from us doing, our class. And I'm angry from because road rage is a thing.
The construction.
And I had so much energy that I was bouncing around the house last night. And Erin looks at me, she goes, "What is your deal?" She goes, "That's it. You're done with caffeine." And it was funny, because I just had such a hard time sleeping. But anyway, here's my motivation. And I'm just going to speak for me. It was so motivating and cool for me yesterday to be in a room with so many professionals that of all different levels in our industry right now. Everybody was at different stages in their career. It was so motivating to me to be able to be in an industry where you can share knowledge with each other. There was no judgment. No one was judgmental of anybody. And the way I watched people that I knew were big salon owner people and people that were independents, and the way they were sharing ideas and just talking about our industry, that was so motivating to me to go, holy crud, I'm part of something. We get so locked into, let me just get through the end of my day, and you become very focused on you get your blinders on, and it's, your 9 a.m. appointment and your 5 p.m. appointment, and you need to get to that 5 p.m. appointment, and everything else in between does not matter. I just need to stay as close as I possibly can to on time, and I want to be home by 6. Okay. But it was so cool to realize that we're part of an industry that knowledge is king, and that no one has any second thoughts about sharing. Hey, this works for me. Hey, that works for me. It's so flipping cool. We are in such a cool business that anytime that I start feeling down, or I'm, thinking maybe I'm going to go to work at Costco, because I think eventually that's where I'm going to end up. The guy at the door with the marker.
Checking the receipts when you leave. You want to be that guy?
Yeah. Well, because by then my legs will be shot, so they'll just post me up on a stool. Or maybe on a hand, one of those 2-wheelers, they'll just strap me in like Hannibal Lecter. But what a cool industry that we're all part of. And if you're someone young watching this and wondering about the industry, it's such an amazing industry, and there's so many avenues that you could take. My partner in crime over here, the man in all black, Johnny Cash, he and I have been through a lot of different phases of the industry together and separate. And it is just really blows my mind, and it energizes me that to get back out there and do what I do. And it should energize everybody in our industry to get out there and do what you do. So cool. So cool. That's my motivation for the week.
You always think, am I the only one? And a lot of people feel alienated, or they feel singled out. They feel alone. They don't have that camaraderie, right?
Right.
But this world is so big. It's so vast, and yet it's still so small. If you have a thought in your mind, I guarantee you, I 100% guarantee you, there is somebody else out there, if not a dozen other people out there, or 2-3 dozen other people out there that have the same thought and mindset that you do. And it doesn't matter how old you are, it doesn't matter how young you are, it doesn't matter how nerdy you are, how cool you are, or anything in between. There is a group, a larger group than you can ever realize, that shares the same thoughts and mentalities. There are people that have the same struggles and the same successes, the same inspirations, the same creativities, the same fears, the same wants and needs. And I'll tell you, man, during the lunch hour, I'm just sitting there, I just finished a cookie. I'm sitting there eating an apple. And the one stylist comes up to me and she goes, "You're having dessert before your lunch?" I'm like, "No, this is my lunch." And another stylist starts laughing. She goes, "It's the hairdresser way," And then another one chimes in, "Caffeine and hatred all day, baby." And the other one goes, "I do caffeine and nicotine. Does hatred work better than the nicotine?" She goes, "Oh, pumps you up way more." And just and I'm going, that's my thought all the time. I'm hearing like the expression, my intrusive thoughts won.
Yeah.
No, they didn't. They're being verbalized in real time by other people.
Absolutely.
Freaking hilarious, right?
It is what a great kick-ass industry we're part of.
Oh my
God. Say that? Can I say that word on YouTube?
Hell yeah, man.
Okay.
It's an awesome freaking industry. During the break, the one lady comes, she goes, "Why don't you and John go into stand-up comedy with each other?" I go, "Who would understand our humor? Other than hairdressers, who else would understand this demented, dark side humor that we have?" And then I'm thinking about it. Driving home, Dom goes, "Man, you guys answered every single, there wasn't one question that any of you missed." And Carmelina's like, "Yeah. And you guys were just laughing all day." I'm like, "We were laughing all day?" I'm like, "We were having fun." She goes, "No, everybody was laughing all day." It's like, you really got to stop saying all these crazy things. You're lucky people are laughing. I'm like, I'm not lucky, love. This entire room understands everything that I'm saying. That's why we're laughing, because we're all sharing the same pain with each other.
Right. Absolutely.
Demented thinking. I'm like, am I the one that's in the wrong for saying it, or are they the ones in the wrong for nodding their head and laughing along with it? Who's worse in this scenario?
What a great day. What a great day. Just to recap, we are going to be doing this again June 16th. If you need hours, if you're in Illinois, if you're interested in coming and just being silly and learning a bunch of stuff and laughing your butt off all day, June, go to htbbeauty.com. Tickets are still on sale. We have a few left. We don't have an exact number, so grab them while you can. Also, if you like what Eddie and I do here on the podcast, if you really want to support us, HTB Beauty is behind us 100%. You can go get an account on htbbeauty.com. You can smash the like or whatever button, but we appreciate each and every one of you, and we appreciate the guys that are with it, people that are with us and send us comments. This is this week. We got more stuff coming for you next week. We appreciate each and every one of you once again, and want to thank you. Thanks, guys. Have a great week.
Yeah, have a great week, and go make a difference, man. One client at a time. Go.
There you go. There it is.
Thank you.
The SFTB podcast was not recorded in front of a live studio audience, so thanks for joining us for today's episode. If our hair topics made you smile, give us a thumbs up. Drop your thoughts in the comments. We'll read them while waiting for our caller to process. Share this video with your stylists and friends. It helps us make a difference, one strand at a time. And don't forget to subscribe and ring that notification bell so you never miss an episode. Because your hair deserves all the latest and greatest tips.